Hello, Falava family and friends, and welcome to another episode of I Am Me with AMP. I hope you guys are having a fantastic evening on this beautiful Sunday. But I have a very exciting guest that I have to introduce to you guys. It is my niece, and her name is Shirley. So kick back and enjoy what we're about to talk about. Shirley, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi guys, my name is Shirley. My nickname I go by is Lay. I'm currently working part time at Kmart and studying at New Zealand School of Tourism, and I am 19 years of age.
You went
Mm,
to which school which high school did you used to go to?
Southern Cross.
All right.
Yeah,
So tell me about your experience there. How did you
it's
find it?
been quite a journey through high school. I think the whole when you come from a Samoan family, it's like they have all these standards and expectations of you,
Yeah.
and it just makes it hard for you to go to school. And it's like, I don't know, I just couldn't seem to focus on school properly because that's what kept going through my mind, and it was really hard for me. um School was cool, all
What would
right.
you describe as some of your struggles, some of the things that were said to you that made you struggle at
I
school?
think just, you know having my parents, especially my mom, always saying that, since I'm the only girl, that I gotta, live this type of life, go to uni, um, always expecting me to have good grades, which
Yeah.
made it harder. Um, yeah, it's pretty much it.
So it sounds to me that it was difficult because you were the only girl and like everybody else were boys, the expectation was a different level. Is that what you're trying to say? Did
Mm.
you ever have the chance to talk to mum about it, or did you kind of just keep it to yourself and just keep pushing through?
Oh, most of the time I would keep it to myself. I just never really, I'm never that type to open up to others, especially to my mom, because I just felt like that, if I did, she'll just co- come at me for it.
Being at school and then leaving school and going into, was it tourism that you're currently in?
Yeah.
How did you tell mum that you wanted to do that? Like, was it hard for you to express to your mum what you wanted to do, or were you quite confident?
Oh, it was pretty hard. Um, Especially since she wanted me to go to uni
Yeah.
and pursue like nursing, which I kind of didn't want to do. I only said that because, other people were looking, and, I just had to like listen to my mom. Like I couldn't really do what I wanted to do. So yeah. And then I just decided that, one day I just decided that enough was enough, and that I had to tell my mom that that's not what I wanted to do, and that flight attending was my dream job.
I'm proud of you for being able to speak up. So, when you did find the courage to do it, what was it like? Like, how were you feeling?
No, it was a relief, a big time relief, that I was able to like finally speak to her about it, um, whether she liked it or not. I was able to come forward to her and tell her.
That's really good, Shirley. And guys, if you know my niece, she's very quiet, especially around my girls. Oh, she's super quiet. But you've got a different relationship with the girls when you're with them. They always say that you're loud with them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. After speaking to mum and getting into New Zealand tourism, what are some of the things that you've gotten out of it since you've been studying there?
Just being there, they really taught me a lot. To never give up. Is, yeah. That, anything is possible. Um, and just being on time management, all that type of stuff. Work ready, world ready.
Work ready, world ready.
Yeah,
Look at that. Look at that. That's a good one. I've never heard that before.
yeah,
That's cool. Being of Pacific Island descent, right? Being Samoan, did you find that there were many other island kids doing the same course as you?
yeah. A lot.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. And so, did you find that to be comfortable for you?
Yeah.
I like. Were you actually studying? Was it at Manukau or?
Auckland Airport.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So, what time were classes for you?
Monday to Friday, 9 to 4.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So, have you completed it now, or are you
Uh,
still going?
completed it. Thinking about doing level 5.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool. If you got kids out there that are contemplating wanting to get into tourism, which is like flight attending,
Mm.
what would you say are some of the things that you need to have to be able to get into it?
You actually don't really need anything. I would just
Cool.
say go for it. Life's too short. Take every opportunity given. Uh, yeah, and just get your foot in the game.
Because like before you were doing this, you were working part time at another job, right?
Yeah.
And how did you find that job?
Um, not difficult, but it was okay. It was stressful. It was actually good. Um,
So you enjoyed the job,
yeah,
but how was it with the people side of it?
not so well. Um, Speaking truthfully, it did go good for a couple of months, but yeah,
What do you think was the change that made it like, was it change of management or different people coming in? Like, what made it change?
probably, probably just different people coming in for sure. Just too many voices speaking at once, and I think that's probably why, um, our system was so broken, which led to like bullying and stuff.
And
And
when you say bullying, what kind of bullying was happening
it was like words, like verbal.
to your face?
Yeah.
From managers or from colleagues, like other teammates?
Everyone.
Oh wow,
Yeah, which
that's
was
really
really toxic.
unhealthy.
Yeah.
And nobody spoke up.
Nobody.
But I know that mum spoke up. Is that right?
Yeah, a couple of times.
And nothing happened.
Nothing happened. Never changed.
So it took for you to resign.
Yeah.
Like nobody stepped up to change it.
Mm.
That's really sad. And so, like, how you had to leave that job, that must have played a bit of like, it played on your mind in terms of mentally because that would have made you really sad because you
Mm.
liked the job, but it
Yeah.
was the people that made it difficult.
Yeah.
And you were doing really well too. You were
Mm.
learning how to do everything. And
Yeah.
so, were you quite disappointed when you had to resign?
Uh, yeah, to be honest, yeah, I was. Like, if none of that had happened, I would have been there longer, but I guess it is what it is, and um, I guess it was time for me to leave anyways and start a new journey.
That's really good. Like
Yeah,
when one door closes, another
another,
will open.
yeah,
Yo, that's a vibe. So like, through everything that you've gone through from school to going into that part-time job and then
mm,
to resigning and then going into your tourism for studying,
yeah,
what has been the motivation to keep you pushing through? Because one, you don't like to talk much.
yeah,
Two, you're very quiet.
mm-hmm.
So how do you express your feelings when you're feeling like upset or like not 100%? Like what do you do for yourself to keep pushing your mentality forward?
I guess um, probably one of the main reasons or one of the main things is just rethinking about like the sacrifices that my family did for me.
Especially Uncle
Yeah,
Uncle Alvin, yeah?
especially him, and that's what kept helped me to motivate myself to push myself even more.
So like Alvin, which is one of my favorite cousins, who was absolutely amazing. He was an absolute angel to our family. So like what were some things that Uncle Alvin would say to you to help push you through? Because I know he loved to speak to you kids.
Yeah.
Because that was his personality.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some of the things that you remember from Uncle Alvin, growing up or just in general?
Um, he would just always encourage us to never give up, to always do what's to pursue our careers, our dreams.
Just talking about Uncle Alvin and having him not be around within your family.
Yeah.
Have you found that to be quite difficult?
Oh, big time, especially for me. because you know that one person that always believed in you is no longer here physically,
Yeah.
and to like witness all the all these success and goals that I've accomplished, having him here, um, which is really hard. But yeah.
You've done extremely well. You should be super proud of yourself. And to be able to come and have a conversation with me, I honestly was really shocked that you were keen, which is really cool because there's a lot of kids out there that are wanting to pursue being a flight attendant
Mm,
or just going into something that they're in love with. So it's really good that you took that step forward. Do
yeah.
you have a relationship within like your friendship groups with your friends or anything that helps you through like your hard times as well?
As of right now, I'm kind of like, just not in that stage of wanting to talk to anyone.
Fair enough.
Yeah, like I don't really have anyone to talk to.
Yeah.
So yeah, um, basically just me just cutting off like everyone that's so toxic
And do you
and
feel like you had a lot of toxic people in your life at one
a
point?
lot.
Like, what are some of the traits that you feel were toxic?
Just them not being supportive, just you know not having my back, not it's like when they can't get something from you, they just leave, like
Yeah.
just not
So
getting
you
what
feel
they
like you
want.
were used?
Yeah, those time.
That's really sad. And how did you start to recognize that, like that they were just using you? Because sometimes you're so blinded by having
Mm,
mates and because you just want to hold on to having friends.
yeah,
Like, what made you click that they were just using you?
just the energy.
Okay.
Yeah, the energy, um, the way they were talking to me, the way they were treating
Were they
me.
being disrespectful?
Yeah,
Like, just like demanding you to do stuff or just
mm,
being disrespectful?
just disrespectful. Just being they just weren't good. They were just simply just
And were these
toxic.
friends from school or work? Like, where did these friends come from?
Both work and school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but
That's
mostly
such a
school.
cool buzz.
Yeah.
That's such a cool buzz. And then, so now you've graduated and you're
Mm,
like currently working part time at Kmart, yes?
yeah,
What are your future goals now? Like, where are we heading for the future?
for sure. I'm wanting to just work for a little bit, and hopefully, applying for the airlines again at the end
Cool.
of the year.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's really exciting. I'm curious about this whole flight attending, because I watch them all the time when I fly, and I'm just like,
yeah,
man, that's some restricted stuff. Um, you guys have to learn how to swim, is that correct? Like,
yeah.
what are some of the things that you have to do to be a flight attendant?
Um, swimming.
Yep.
Yeah. Swimming. First aid. Um, and just um being a people person.
Okay.
Really. Yeah. Just learning how to interact with people.
So, what are some of the things they taught you guys in terms of interacting and learning how to interact with people? What are some of the things that you would say?
Just being positive, smile. Um, yeah, just
Out of
yeah.
all the different career paths, why flight attending?
Uh, that's actually a good question, but I guess I chose flight attending because I have a passion for serving other people
Cool.
for sure. And just meeting new people.
And what, like seeing the world
Yeah.
at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool, man. After everything that you've learned from flight attending, what would you say is one of the strongest things that you hold from there that's helped
Never
you?
be afraid. Probably to never be afraid. Every opportunity you get, take it.
Yeah,
For sure, that's one of the things that you know going to that school has taught me. That because once an opportunity passes by,
it's done.
yeah, it's
It's
too late.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
too late. No, that's cool. Okay, because I feel like you're going into things that are so opposite to who you are, which is great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
you're putting yourself in really uncomfortable situations.
Yeah.
Do you still get quite scared because you're so quiet and you hold yourself back and you don't really speak?
Yeah.
Does it scare you, the different things that you've tried, or
Not really. Like looking at myself now, I feel like I've come a really long way, um, especially when I'm someone who likes to keep within my own bubble,
Yeah,
my comfort zone. And just looking at now, when stuff like this do happen to me, it's like I don't really get nervous anymore.
that's good.
Maybe a little, but I'm okay with it. And it's really helped me grow as a person and just learning how to be more out there and trying to push myself out of my comfort
Really
zone.
good,
Yeah,
because most people just keep sitting in their comfort zone,
yeah,
and then life just passes them by and they've missed out on a million things that they could have done that would have been exciting.
yeah. So,
What's your dream airline?
Qantas.
Yo, what made you pick Qantas?
Um,
Most people pick Air New Zealand, but
um,
Qantas,
my trainer for sure. She
cool.
really convinced us
Is she
into.
that guy that was just hard out speaking it to like, you want to be at Qantas? Don't
Yeah,
worry about Air New Zealand. We're all about
yeah,
Qantas. That's
for
cool.
sure.
I love that. Like, did you meet some cool friends during your time at your course?
Yeah, yeah, I did. People um learning about from different cultures, especially since the campus that I was at was such a really diverse.
Because
Um,
what cultures we're all studying there? Give
uh,
us an example. Since you're going to be traveling the world, what cultures we're in there?
uh, Arab, Samoan, Tongan, Indian, Fijian,
Wow,
a lot.
that's a whole lot of diversity all in one room.
Yeah,
That would have been cool to make different friends then.
mm,
Flight attendants always look prim and proper.
yeah,
Is that a must?
yeah,
Yeah,
for
is
sure.
there a certain criteria? Like, does your hair have to be slicked back? Do you have to wear makeup? Do you have to have clean nails? Like, what's the rules?
For sure, you gotta look professional at all
So, what's
times.
professional,
Um, gotta have your hair slicked back. Your nails. You can wear like acrylics and stuff,
but
but
not long,
yeah,
eh?
short. You can wear makeup, but it has to be natural looking. Um, your uniform has to be
Crisp,
tidy, clean,
ironed,
yeah,
clean.
at all
Hey,
times.
she can't show up dirty.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Can't come to campus looking scruffy and
Yeah,
stuff.
you can't have putty nails.
Yeah, and just having that I can do attitude
Yeah, for
at
sure.
all times because the trainers and the managers there and everyone they really do look at the little things.
Which makes
Yeah,
sense.
and your behavior as well.
So, like a good attitude.
Yeah, good attitude. Or
And like shoes have to be like polished, or
yeah, high heels.
you have to wear high heels.
Yeah,
I would die. But it doesn't have to be high, yeah. They
yeah,
can
like
be like the
three, basically.
3 inches.
Yeah, 3 inches.
Look at that, 3 inches. Okay, cool, man. And so Qantas, okay, like, so how were you sold on Qantas then? If that's the airline you want to work for, what sold it to you?
Probably getting the opportunity to fly to Sydney. Yeah, um, my trainer for sure, like, she'll just talk and talk about Qantas all the time.
Did you guys have anybody for Air New Zealand that was at the as one of your tutors, or was it just Qantas?
Only one.
One Air New
Yeah,
Zealand.
and two Qantas.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's cool that you had actual like flight attendants that actually trained you.
yeah.
Is what would you say, Shirley, is your why for everything that you've done to this day?
My wife probably have to be my family. Just, just you know, yeah. No, that's my wife for sure. Every choice, the decision that I make, it's all about my family.
That's
Just trying
good.
to make them proud.
And like, for yourself, do you feel like you hold yourself at a high, like, do you at a high status for yourself? Like, are you quite confident within yourself, or do you feel like there's still a bit of work to be done within yourself?
Probably still a little bit of work to do. Um, I know that I can do better.
Yeah.
May not be now, but hopefully in the future, for sure.
So like, in terms of, your focus on yourself, what are some of the things that you want to focus on for yourself?
Trying to be a better person every
Find it
day.
hard to better yourself sometimes though, because you don't have that person to speak to.
yeah, like not having um the support that I need, especially from people, that I think that I need it from. Um, yeah, and just not having anyone. And
So what do you think are some of the things that you might need to do to get that support from the people that you want it from? Because to be honest, I feel like in a lot of island families, it's difficult to speak to your parents because they just have a different perspective of what the world is or
yeah,
what the expectations are when all you really want is just for them to listen.
mm,
Yeah.
for sure.
Because
Yeah,
sometimes when you
I'll
want
be
to,
honest.
as a parent, there are some things, when your kids come to talk to you and you just want to like snap at them.
Yeah,
But sometimes you have to just put yourself into like friend mode.
yeah,
Like sometimes you can't always be like mum, like you have to switch and be friends.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
And so that's how I try to speak to like my daughters is that I always try my hardest to switch out of mum mode and be friend mode because sometimes you just need someone to speak to.
yeah.
And but have you ever had that conversation with mum for her to understand that?
Sometimes it's difficult trying to talk to her because if you know her, she is quite stubborn, really stubborn, and it's like sometimes I'm a bit too I'm afraid to talk to her because I feel like she'll just like snap at me, like
And
just
disregard what you're trying to say.
yeah, and just just too much. But yeah,
Well, it's really good that you're able to speak about it on this, like sitting here with me.
mm,
And, I'm pretty sure God will work his magic and figure something out. Do you, are you able to speak to your brothers?
yeah, sometimes um
Who would it be? Mostly Nathaniel or David or Leo?
probably probably like a little bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, but most of the time I just like keeping to myself.
Yeah. Do you write in a journal or anything?
I try to,
That's really good.
yeah,
That's really, really
especially
good.
on my phone.
Yeah, for sure. That's good. I think that's one thing that we do as humans is that we try to bottle everything up. And then have you ever come to the point where you've broken down and you just cry because you really don't know what else to do?
Oh, multiple, yeah,
Yeah,
many
multiple
nights,
times.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So have you ever spoken to God? Do you feel
Yeah,
like there's a disconnection there? Like, or do you feel like you have a relationship with Him?
disconnection
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, if there's anything as your auntie that I have to say to you, He has been extremely helpful in my journey.
Mm,
So sometimes you can get so lonely, like you don't even know what to feel,
yeah,
like you just feel empty.
just feel alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like for myself, and I've had those moments. I
Hmm.
honestly, I pray, and you just got to just open up, and it really does work, Shirley. 100%. That's really hard situation, and I feel like a lot of kids go through this of not being able to open up to their parents.
Yeah.
So, besides writing in your journal, do you literally, does music help you, or do you just, sometimes you just sit in your room just trying to figure it out?
Oh no, yeah, for sure. Music is another one. When I just feel like it's too much for me, I just
You know what's crazy, Shirley, is your mum loves music.
yeah,
I know she doesn't listen to it as much anymore, eh?
yeah,
But like back then when we were younger,
mm,
when we were like still in our teens, she loved music. But I feel like after this, I feel like mum's probably gonna like have a better idea of how you feel.
hopefully.
Nah, she definitely will. She's definitely understanding, but mums are just different with their kids because they love them so much
Hmm.
that you have such a guard
Yeah.
up where you just like, no, you need to do this and no, you need, but I've learned that if your kids aren't passionate about what they're trying to get into, it's never going to work.
Hmm.
So
Sure.
like that's really like you gotta give mum props like where she let you do hospitality, like
Yeah.
tourism, sorry. Like you gotta give mum props for saying yes.
Hmm.
Did it take her ages though?
Not really. Yeah. She was kind of disappointed that I was no longer wanting to do uni and nursing, but yeah, she finally came around and was like, "Yeah, I'm fine with it."
And that's how you know she loves you.
Yeah.
Because had she not, I mean, parents love you regardless if they say yes or no.
Mm,
But like, it takes a lot. Like, mom was thinking like wanting you to get into nursing, but then she took into consideration what you wanted.
mm,
So that speaks volumes that, she is wanting to support you,
yeah.
but it's just the barriers too of like what all parents think that your kids have to be this
This.
and this.
Yeah.
But like kids just need to follow their dreams, and I'm proud of you for doing that. Power to you, Shirley. That's really cool, man. I have to ask you though, just before we finish off tonight,
Mm.
what gave you the courage to come through and have a sit down with me to have a conversation?
I just felt like that I knew that hopefully that my story could help someone out
That's
there.
good.
Um, even if it's just one that watches or but yeah, I don't know, I just had this feeling in me that I needed to.
Good.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Because honestly, guys, Shirley's quiet, but I guess, but then I can understand where you come from because my husband's quiet too.
Mm.
But when he's with me, he talks and talks and talks. Like, who's your person that you love to talk to?
Oh wait, oh besides Uncle Alvin, for sure, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Faith. That's your GA.
for sure. She just
Yeah,
gets me.
yeah.
Yeah.
She's a vibe, eh? Yeah, easy to talk to. Yeah, no, she does my head in sometimes, but she is. You're right. She is easy to talk to. That's good though. So if there's any advice as your auntie, um, have that conversation with your mum. Doesn't matter however it turns out, she needs to hear you. And even writing a letter to your parents is cool to express emotions because
Mm.
when you're in front of them, sometimes you just can't get it out.
Yeah.
And so writing in a letter is a good way because it's a way for them to sit and understand where you're coming from as a child.
Mm.
Because like it honestly, I'm old, Shirley, and my mom still be telling me what's up. And I think that's just a island mentality.
Yeah.
But you'll get
So
through it. Congratulations on finishing your tourism, which is really exciting,
thank
and
you.
congratulations on your job at Kmart. But thank you for coming on.
Mm.
I hope this was helpful for you.
Fun. Sure.
Good. Awesome. Well, guys, I hope you guys have enjoyed another episode with I Am Me with AMP, with my niece Shirley. And like I've said right through this whole conversation, it took a lot of courage for her to come through. So, if this resonates with anyone out there, like I've said many, many times, that this platform is to help inspire, you know, people from all walks of life. And, I keep bringing up God because He definitely has been an absolute pillar in my journey so far. And I'm grateful for the learnings that I've come across. And I'm grateful that Shirley came through as well. But I hope you guys are all having a beautiful Sunday and love and light to you and yours. And I'll see you guys next week for another episode of I Am Me with AMP at 5 p.m. on Sunday. Bye, guys.
Bye guys.